Yes guys, hope you're all good and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So we are here, Ukdfba finals peak week, 6 days out as of today. I'm going to be doing daily vlogs every single day this week. Today, I'm going to go through an in-person check-in with Lawrence, in-person check-in with Leo, see where they're at. They're both currently loading up into the show. Hopefully this week's videos give you a bit of an insight into how I peak my clients and exactly how their physiques progress throughout the week. Both of them are competing in junior men's physique for the British title this Sunday. So very exciting stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. So first up we have Leo. So Leo has been on prep for 12 weeks now, a very short prep because we decided to prep last minute. So Leo's first show was the Ukdfba Heart of England, which we knew we weren't going to be completely ready for. We came into that show at around 62.7 kilos. We had lost around 7 kilos on prep up to that point over the 10 weeks until that first show. The peak for that show is going to be very similar to this peak, with some slight adjustments due to the data we gathered from that first peak. So basically from that showing, we knew we simply had to get leaner and also bring more fullness, because when he was on stage, we could kind of tell that he wasn't completely full, because the main goal for that show was to make sure we were in as much condition as possible. Obviously, knowing going into the show that condition wasn't where we wanted it, I didn't want to risk anything with regards to fullness, and therefore we brought him in very dry and basically as lean as possible. Over the last 2 weeks, we pretty much dug him really, really hard. Food's been really, really low, expenditure's been really, really high, and we've managed to pull off another 2 kilos. So the lightest weigh-in we've seen before starting loading on Sunday was 60.8 kilos. That's 1.9 down from his previous low, and that's brought through a lot more condition through the delts, arms, chest, midsection, back, pretty much everywhere in his upper body's more condition than it was last time. So that's exactly what we needed to bring. And all we're going to do now, a bit of a longer load, started loading from Sunday instead. And then just like in the last peak, we're going to run a protein fat day the day before the show to help shed some extracellular water and therefore bring in a really dry look come show day. So the goal of this peak is fill up slightly more before the protein fat day, actually try and overspill before going to the protein fat day, and then bringing him back in to the point where he's peak fullness, but still holding that dryness that we managed to bring last time on stage. So talking a bit about Leo's prep, obviously with it being so short, he has accumulated a lot of fatigue over the prep. We brought off 9 kilos in 12 weeks, so that's a lot of weight to lose, especially for someone at Leo's body weight. So I knew going into this peak, we really had to manage fatigue before starting to load. So what we did, basically at the start of the peak week, or start of the peak around 11 days out, we started tapering out cardio. Cardio is out at 9 days out, and that allowed us to drop off a good amount of fatigue before even starting to load. Steps were down as well. Try to keep him as stress-free as possible, as relaxed as possible throughout those few days, and then also throughout the whole of this week as well. And now that he's in a much more stress-free environment, we can actually load him a bit more effectively without risking too much extracellular water retention. So that's what we have done. Started on 400 carb this time in comparison to last time where we started on 300 carb, and then we're going to push fullness across the next few days before drying out on Friday evening and Saturday morning. The reason why that drying out period is slightly different to last time we did that on Saturday, is because they've switched around the schedule of the show. We're now competing in the morning rather than in the evening, and therefore all we've done is shift everything back half a day within the peak week. So drying out will be Friday evening, Saturday morning, bit of carbs going in Saturday evening, a couple of carb meals going in Sunday morning, and then hitting the stage at around 10:45 a.m. on Sunday. So very confident where Leo's at. I know he can challenge that British title. He's got the shape, he's got the muscularity, he's got the condition now as well. It's all going to come down to making sure I'm bringing him in at his best. So moving on to Lawrence now. Lawrence's prep's been drastically different to what Leo's has been like. We started prep 24 weeks out from the first qualifier, which was the Ukdfba Southern, and we knew that we could probably qualify for finals coming into that show without the condition that we needed for a finals level show. So for that show, he was around 186 pounds the morning of the show, and that was 5 weeks ago. So over the last 5 weeks, we brought body weight down to 174 at its lowest. That's 12 pounds below his stage weight, and then he'll probably fill up to around the low 180s and end up on stage around 180, 182, somewhere around there. So we've brought a lot of condition through since the last show, as we needed to. We're going to a Ukdfba finals where the standard is actually going to be ridiculous. So there's no way we can step on stage with the condition we stepped on the qualifier stage with and expect to win. So that's what we've done, brought through a lot more condition, way more condition through the obliques, lower back, midsection, everywhere else, to be honest. Everywhere's a lot more dialed in. We pretty much got the fat off by around midweek last week. We started the peak on Friday, which was 9 days out from the finals. The reason why we started that peak so early compared to Leo's was simply because Lawrence needed a lot longer to fill up, and also we're not running a protein fat day for Lawrence. It's just a progressive linear load all the way from Friday through to show day. So we started with 500 carb on the rest day on Friday, 600 carb on training days, and we'll gradually taper those up throughout the week until we find the look in terms of fullness that we like. Kind of want to find that look by around Thursday, Friday time. So we've got a good amount of time just to hold that look then, because again, being on in the morning around 10:45 a.m, I don't want to worry about filling up throughout the day on the actual show day. So that's what we're going to do. 650 carb has gone in today on Monday at 6 days out. We're probably going to go 700 tomorrow. And then I imagine this carbs will probably get towards 800, 850 by the end of the week, because as I said before, Lawrence pretty much burns through carbs and therefore needs a lot to fill up, which is why the linear load is going to work so well for him. Again, no protein fat day. We've tried it in the past. We've tried it on the mock peak week and it completely flattened out his physique, so no need for it whatsoever there. And I've also found with Lawrence that he doesn't really hold water extracellularly. The only time he does is when he has some digestive issues, which makes his midsection look a little bit blurred. But we managed that really well this peak week. And we're just going to fill him up all the way into the show. So yeah, a very simple peak for Lawrence. This will be his second last show, so finals on Sunday. Again, got him for that British title. And then in 2 weeks, we've got the WNBA finals against the men. He won't be a junior for that show, so basically going up against the best in the UK, no matter what age, in that show, which will be very exciting. So yeah, that's the 2 peaks that I'm doing for Leo and Lawrence respectively. They're going to be going against each other next Sunday, which should be a very proud moment for me in my coaching career. Hopefully many more to come for both of them. They both had a great first season, brought really, really good looks to the stage, and I'm really, really confident that they'll both do really well this weekend and in the future. So I'm pretty much going to leave the video there, guys. I think that's a great bit of insight into both of Lawrence and Leo's peak weeks. I'm going to be filming a lot more content throughout the rest of the week, so tomorrow I've got legs, I'll be filming that, and then Wednesday through to Saturday, again, checking in with Lawrence and Leo pretty much every day, seeing them in person, making sure that they bring their best come Sunday. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in a bit.